Intro time. Bum, bum. Hello and welcome to the Wind Up, a weekly recap show where I, Maya Crofone, and he, Sean Philip Naylor, RuPaul's and that's a horrible thing, recaps and reviews each episode of RuPaul's Drag Race season 15. We RuPaul the RuPaul. Don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram at the windup_pod to keep up with all of our backstage shenanigans, including our much beloved outtakes, and also see photos of the Queen's looks on the runway and their Instagram posts, which we'll share. Also, other little bits and tidbits and things that we might post from here and there. I say we, it's all him. You can follow him at Sean Phillip Official because one day he will be, and me at Microphone with an F, not a PH, because PH looks like crapone. Sean, hello.
Hey girl,
How are we?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm I'm
So you're getting there.
we're both getting there. We're
We
but
are
we're but
both getting there. And in order to help us get there, what are you drinking today?
first, cheers to this
Cheers to
week.
this episode.
Um this week I am drinking Tread Softly Rosé.
Oh, I love that rosé.
It's really nice.
And it's vegan and all the nice things too.
Oh, I don't care about that. It just tastes nice.
I am
What?
drinking a far and wide Prosecco rosé.
Excuse you. I didn't realize there was a prosecco named after my asshole.
It's so funny because as I said that and I held the bottle up in my head, I was like, oh, that's right, Sean, you were gonna go to do a joke about your asshole. And then I didn't, and you took it from me. So fair play.
See,
Fair play.
unintentionally, we're cohesive, we're coherent, we're
I
well,
know. We
not
should probably
coherent,
stop spending so much time together.
virtually. I mean, when was the last time I physically saw you like a week or so ago when you popped into my store. But before that, I was like, whenever the last time I saw you was. Um, oh fuck, we still need to plan that dinner with Amy. Um,
Hi, Amy. We're thinking about you.
See, we think about you weekly. Because it's how we always remember that we need to do it. Um,
To be fair, my microphone hasn't got a day off till April, and I'm running two stores, one on the Gold Coast and one in Brisbane. So we're kind of busy.
yeah,
Love you though.
we literally just went through and I don't have a next day off for another fucking 3.5, 4 weeks. The joys of being a working drag queen who also works pretty much full time. This week was our LipSync Lalaparuza
Mm.
Smackdown. What was your overall thoughts of this episode?
This could be controversial. So far, my favorite episode of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't, I mean, obviously I love a runway, but
Mm-hmm.
there were concerns about how they were going to put this many lip syncs into a 45-minute episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually quite enjoyed the pacing of it.
So a little bit of insight. I've recently learnt that the queens actually do the full song on stage.
I
And then
thought they would have, and then they just edited it down.
well, I was under the impression for a long time that they actually just do like a drag race cut where they just give them a certain bit to learn because
Yep.
obviously it makes it easier for them to just show that. And then I've just recently learned that no, they perform the whole song. So for example, like we get one of the songs today, which is all coming back to me, which is a 7-minute song.
I was actually, when you said that, I just had flashbacks to uh, the nights when the wind was so. No, I had flashbacks to, was it Down Under the last year that did that Tina Arena Chains
It,
remix? And that's
yeah,
like 8 or 9 minutes.
yep. So that's how long those queens were performing that lip sync for.
Damn, no wonder
Um,
they look puffed at the end.
but yeah, so they perform the entire. So queens that get a short song are blessed. Queens
Mm.
that end up with a long fucking song, they're on stage for Yeah, however long that fucking lip sync is for. Oh, wow, that was an early one tonight.
Mm,
Um,
she means business.
Look, I enjoyed it. I do think there was several questionable decisions made.
Hmm.
Um, but I understand for the process of storytelling why they've made those decisions. Do I agree with them? No. Do I agree with the queen that went home? Yes, but no. As in, I do think that, yeah, we'll get to it. So obviously we said goodbye to Aura Mayari last week at the end of the horrible revival of Daytona Wind, which you loved, but I didn't. Um, and I've seen as well a lot of people online. So if you love the Tim and Eric awesome show, great job. You loved this reboot of Daytona Wind. If you don't love Tim and Eric, you didn't love it. So,
Um, I mean, I don't really know Tim or Eric personally.
neither.
But I did go back and watch the original Daytona Wind, which was far superior.
Told you.
Um, with I mean, who doesn't love a fart joke? Um,
I'm not going to fart this week.
give it time, listeners and viewers.
No,
Um, you'll see her do these ones.
no. If you haven't learned anything by now, I don't lean to a side. I lean forward.
Now we know.
Yeah, we said goodbye to Aura Mayari. Mistress Isabel Brooks won the challenge, which I think could have gone between her or Malaysia, to be fair. In the workroom, we get some drag delusion, though, where Mistress says the CDC does need to come up with a new vaccine because Lucy is pissed that she was not in the top because
Wasn't she?
she feels she carried the entire challenge. Um, Granted, yes, there was a lot of scenes that were edited and cut out, which a few of the queens have commented on, being that they did film several other scenes and several other little bits and pieces for the Daytona Win that didn't make the final edit. Lucy being one of them, being like, I filmed so much more than what was shown. So, fair for her to think, I was going to be in the top because at this point in time, they wouldn't see what the final edit was
True.
going to be. So for her being like, oh, 100%, I was in the most scenes, I did the best, 100% I should be in the top. But it is interesting that all the other queens are just like, mm. And Spice mentions that she's going into her Dom top era as she then trots around in a circle. Everyone's like, they told you not to do that. Um,
Drag delusions.
I still don't, why did she have a random spoon or fork? No, it's a fork. Why
She
did
had
she
a
have a
fork.
random,
They
why did
must have
she have
had
a,
snacks.
but she just randomly had a fork out of for no reason. She just
Production must have given them snacks.
but she just yeah, she's just running around with a fork. And I'm like, where'd the fork come from? Why do you have a fork?
I
You're not
can't
dressed as
follow this narrative.
you're not dressed as Ariel, so there's no reason for you to be brushing your hair.
Or maybe it was left over from when she was dressed as Ariel.
Maybe, but it's still yeah, very Cher
Mm,
doesn't brush her hair with a fork. She looked like Cher.
she did.
So overall thoughts of the lip sync
Ooh,
Lalaparuza, you
I
enjoyed it.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed the pacing. I thought it was good.
The song
My
choices were
favorite episode
weird.
so far. Yes, very strange song choices. Like quite rubbish, to be fair.
Last season's song choices were a lot better. But this one was good. I enjoyed it. A lot of interesting choices, which we'll get to. Um, but the queens come in, they don't know what's going on. There's a whole bunch of talking and talking and talking. There's a lot of talking about nothing this season. Just oh, that's right. They confront Lucy, where everyone's just like, look,
Again.
Lucy, you weren't in the top. And she's like, but I what? Oh, I fast forwarded way too fast and paused it on RuPaul.
Oh,
So RuPaul comes into the workroom looking like an MC Hammer reject.
he does. Can we also just say Lucy has a new name? Not Lucy. Is it Lucy? It's Lucy LaDuca,
Yeah,
right? She's now Lucy Delusional.
delusional. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm,
yeah, yeah.
mhm, mhm.
Not whatever you were calling her a couple of weeks ago.
DeLuca. I get the DeLuca and the LaDuca mixed up. She should really think about changing that to make it easier on me.
But yeah, RuPaul comes in looking like an MC Hammer reject. Some weird, like over the top puffy sleeves with like yellow and leopard print, and then black pants, but they're not harem pants, but they're just black pants. So he looks very top heavy.
He does. He's looking like an old man.
No, he
Sorry,
just looks
Rue.
like his shoulders just look very,
Very
very broad.
boxy.
Yeah. Like someone stuck a fucking cardboard cutout inside his jacket. We get told it's a Lalaparuza this week where each queens will compete against each other in a lip sync smackdown, and one queen's going home, which is different from what you thought was happening
I
because
felt like we were going to get multiple queens going home.
the synopsis made it out to seem like there's like you can put the insert here of the synopsis that you sent me. Um, but it said there was strategy and multiple queens leaving. That's what you inferred from what was written. Um, which would have made sense with the whole fact that, we're
10
getting close.
episodes, allegedly. The police are
Yep.
investigating. Don't forget
And
to
then
buy our merch at Redbubble.
90-minute episodes coming on March 10th. But that's obviously not happening. So I don't know. Yeah, this is interesting.
And
Interesting.
Rue made reference to we're halfway through our season and we haven't seen some of you lip sync yet, which means
Mm,
that 10 episodes that they've got published, that it's trickery. I tell you, it's trickery, witchery, and
it's
trickery.
interesting. 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 So all the queens are getting ready. I don't care about any of that. Main stage time for our Lalaparuza. Rue comes out.
Ah, yes, garbage bag chic.
And then some weird like Abraham Lincoln type hair, George
Yeah,
Washington hair.
it was like I feel like this may be the cheapest looking wig I've ever seen Rue in, and I've seen Rue in those old videos from the 80s.
Michelle looks fucking gorgeous though. That leopard print with the
Yes.
black glove and then the hair, like she looks amazing.
And the
Um,
glasses. This is her best look for the season so far for me.
and then
Rue's
we've got
one of the worst.
and then we have the hilarious Ross Matthews. Um,
I
I
liked
would
his
love
jacket.
I would love to point out that so T.S. Madison was announced at the start as being a new rotating judge, and we've had one episode with her. We're 8 episodes in.
She must have got lost in that rotating wheel.
I was like, rotation. We've had Ross for nearly the entire season. We've had Carson for 2 episodes and TS for one.
We only had Carson for 2 episodes.
Only 2 episodes.
Jesus.
So of 8 episodes, what's that? 5 of them have been the hilarious Ross Matthews. So unless the next 5 are a rotation between Carson and TS, it's weird that there's a rotation of judges, but it's not a rotation. For
I
me, a
mean,
rotation for me, a
we
rotation is each episode is a different one.
yeah, totally.
So like it goes TS Carson Ross, TS Carson Ross, TS Carson Ross. That's a
My
rotation.
favorite about this week's panel was Bruno, who's like 1 minute he's doing the balls, and the next minute he's sitting behind the desk going, good times.
Just sitting there not understanding a thing of going home, just going,
He's like, I'm behind the desk today. Someone
I
send
do
me some paperwork.
I do love Bruno though. I would let him do multiple things to me. As much as I still love Bryce, Bruno could still hit it.
I
Um
mean, if you're going to go in, go all in. Take them both.
oh and Bruno,
Give her a minute, guys.
Bruno's South American, so Bruno would be like I would become your Prosecco.
I've suddenly gone off my drink.
Far and wide. Um, so all the queens come out with 45 of them in leotards.
No.
Mm.
Okay, so obviously we don't get a runway this week. We get
No.
our lip sync looks, but can we discuss who your best and worst lip sync look was?
Okay, so just looking at all now, I've just paused it. I would say best lip sync look for me, in all honesty, it's a toss up between Jax, Sasha, and Spice.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Like Jax, Sasha, and Spice, their outfits for me are all stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Worst is just based on this before the reveal, obviously, is Malaysia and Mistress and actually Lux.
Yeah, I'm really starting to feel what you were saying about Lux the other week, and that we've seen this wig and this outfit 1,000 times. This is the
But
same outfit she's worn every week, just in a different color, but without the flowy cape.
But Lux's outfit is a weird sort of like piece of fabric with like this weird like so it's like she's pulled the fabric over her shoulders and then tied it around the waist, so she's got this weird like flappy bit at the front. It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um Lucy's outfit looks good, but it's yeah. Marsha's is kind of just a Brian panty.
Yeah,
Um
I mean, she can move in it, which is clearly what she wanted.
Anita's is again just another leotard. Selena's is I have no idea what the fuck that is. Um but
Cholo
just
chic.
just looking at Mistress for this, like it's a pink weird baby doll dress with these weird sort of like flat sparkly ankle booties, and I'm like, when she walked out at first, I was like, that's what she chose, and went, that has to be a reveal. It has to be something else
But
underneath
even
it.
if it's a reveal, which it was, it's just the most unflattering
Oh, it's
thing
just
she could have
hideous.
possibly worn.
Mm.
Who are we
Like
missing?
Jax, so Jax's looks great because it's very like it looks dancey, it looks hip hop. I love the color combo of it. I love the
Mm.
like cargo pants with the boots that she had. I didn't love the hair with it. That's the only thing I would have changed.
Yeah, like I like
Um,
the color for the hair on her, but not the hair.
I would have preferred the exact same sort of hairstyle she had in episode one, like the two braids.
Yeah.
Um, Sasha's look is stunning. Like she just looks
Mm.
gorgeous. And then
Do you know she
Spice,
made that wig herself?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Spice as well just looks fucking phenomenal. Like this flame, like she looks rock chick, which is ironic considering she's not. Um, but she just looks phenomenal in this as well. So like you can tell they've all come to perform, but
Mm-hmm.
some of them look like stars and some don't.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get Rue discussing that the way it's going to work is Bruno's going to pull a ball out of a cage, and that queen's going to pick another queen, and then that queen that they pick is then going to pick a song. So it's all very convoluted. Um, there's going to be eight lip syncs, eight lip
Eight.
syncs in total. So we get five singles, and then we get some others, and then it leads to what we think is going to be a triple, but there's not a triple, and we'll get to that in a second.
Lies and
Um,
trickery again.
Yeah. So Bruno pulls his hand in the cage. The first ball he pulls out is Malaysia. So
Malaysia baby
Malaysia,
doll Fox.
so Malaysia Baby Doll Fox is looking around and looking down the thing, and she's like, "Who am I going to pick?" And she's like, "I'm going to pick someone easy, so that way then I can beat them." She's contemplating picking Spice. But yeah, so Mistress is sitting there saying, "Malaysia, give everyone what they want. They want to see the two big girls lip sync, so give them the two big girls lip sync." Um, Malaysia's looking around, going, "I could pick Spice. It's an easy one. I could pick someone. I can't remember who she says. She
I
says
can't
someone
remember
else.
that third person either. There was three of them because there were the
Yeah.
two tops that nobody wants to really lip sync against, which was Anitra and Sasha.
Mm.
And there
But
were
yeah,
three people that were like easy targets.
yeah. So it was
Was it
Spice, and then
Selena?
I want to say maybe, and I think maybe Lutz. Um, I don't know, but and then out of nowhere, Malaysia goes Marsha, 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 and everyone's like, "Where the fuck did that come from?" And Marsha turns around and goes, "All right, you're gonna pick me. You watch. I'm gonna fucking flip this shit out, literally." Um, Marsha then gets to choose the song. Yeah, so our song choices are Boys Don't Cry by Anita, Don't Go Yet by Camila Cabello, Do You Want to Touch Me by Joan Jett. We've got I'm in Love with a Monster by Fifth Harmony, All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion, Tell It to My Heart by Taylor Dane, and lastly is The Right Stuff by Vanessa Williams. So Marsha picks Boys Don't Cry by Anita, which is not the song Malaysia wanted. Malaysia wanted It's All Coming Back to Me. She wanted the ballad. But
Well, Malaysia baby doll Fox, we don't always get what we want.
Marsha was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to pick a song that I know and I know well, and I'm going to turn it out.
And so
And
this is the first time we saw Marsha lip sync, and I was quite looking forward to it because you and I were both excited for her when
technically
she came
second,
in. Yes, from the talent show.
correct.
Yeah. And she did a great job in the talent show.
Yes.
So, and she always like does a nice twirl, and obviously being a dancer, like when she comes down the runway, she's very well
Yeah.
poised. And she carried all of that into this lip sync. I thought she did a really good job.
Absolutely. You could tell, I was going to call her Mistress, you could tell Malaysia was out of her element with this song. It's not something that she obviously performs, not that she knows well. Marsha turned it out. She knew every word. She did really well. She did all these little flips out of nowhere.
She had a
Um,
flipping good time.
yeah, it definitely was Marsha's lip sync with this. Um, I enjoyed it for what it was. As I said, I definitely think Malaysia was out of her depth, but it was good. And at the end, Rue announces Marsha to be safe, and Malaysia is going to continue on lip syncing. Malaysia was not happy.
No, and it was her. I did think Marsha was hilarious in the workroom, sitting there by herself, talking to herself, because obviously the production are like, do something.
Yep,
And but Marsha is our first queen in our top nine.
correct. So our next queen to pick is Miss Lucy LaDuca, and she goes
Lucy Laluza.
and she picks the easy route and chooses Spice. And everyone was at the end was just like, "Oh, you chose Spice so that way you could win." She's like, "No, no, I chose Spice because I knew Spice was going to pick the song that I wanted." Everyone's like, "No, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, you picked it." But this was where I think storyline came into play because I actually think Spice slightly was a better lip sync than Lucy.
Well,
So
do you know what?
Spice,
They were both not great.
no. I mean, we've already established the twins are not lip syncers. But Spice chooses the Joan Jett song. Um, but I do think that Lucy, for the fact that Spice could have easily have beaten her in this one, and it was very close for me, shows that she was just thinking it was going to be a cakewalk. She was like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to do much and I'm going to be safe." And it could have very easily have gone to Spice there.
Well, Spice had the whole package with that look, and I feel like she could have given a little bit more. And if
Mm.
she had given a little bit more, she maybe could have got put through. Like,
Well, as she says later on, she wanted to pick the Celine Dion song, but she felt that her look suited more the Joan Jett song. And that's the only reason why she chose it was she was just like, "Oh, I didn't think I could do Celine Dion dressed like this." I'm like, I get that, but I would have loved to have seen what she would have done with the Celine Dion song.
mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I did think this was a very boring lip sync, to be fair. It literally could have gone either way.
Yeah,
But
it was.
Lucy's announced as safe. Spice is going to continue on, which not surprising, really, to be fair. Following that is our next queen chosen is Miss Lux Noir London, and she chooses Selena S. Titties to lip sync against.
Which
Interesting
makes me
choice.
think Selena was our third one that they were like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I well,
because in the later on they said that all of the easy queens to beat got picked first.
yes. And Lux even says that so Selena chooses It's All Coming Back to Me, by Celine Dion.
Great move on Selena's part.
Yes. I didn't mind this lip sync. I didn't hate it. I've now, meaning I can't perform this song for a little while.
Well, this
Because
is interesting because when we were watching it, I said to Benny, I'm really interested to know Microphone's opinion on this one because this is a song that you do,
mm,
and you do it very well.
so
And you take the
my
comedy route when you do it, and
I
Selena also
do
took the comedy route.
well, my thing now is the fact that my only issue is for anyone that's not seen me perform this number and watches Drag Race, if they see me perform it, they're going to just assume that I've chosen to do it because of Drag Race,
Unless
which,
it comes with a disclaimer of follow the wind up and look in our stories because we have you doing it in the stories when you were doing
well,
trivia at
I have,
Nami in Burley like a year ago.
but I also have video footage of me when the first time I performed this 8 years ago. Um,
Oh yeah, but my footage is better because I filmed it.
but like I've been doing this number for that long and it's one of my staples. And now I'm just like, I really wish they hadn't chosen this because I love performing this number. And I now don't want people to be like, "Oh, you're just performing it because of Drag Race." It's like, no, I've been doing it for ages. Um, But I do think both queens did really well. I think Lux taking the serious route was a good choice for her.
It was, I made a little note in my head of it was the drama masks. It was comedy versus tragedy.
Mhm.
And I loved that.
Although, and I've just paused it on Lux, I had not realized the way that Lux paints her nose. She
It's
looks
like a
like,
tiger.
well, I was gonna say she looks like Bambi
Yeah, she has like the darker shadowing underneath.
to make her nose appear smaller,
Mm.
but in certain angles, it actually makes it look larger. Like the angle I've just paused it on, how does it make her look like she's got this tiny little dainty female nose? It makes her look like she's got this big, giant, fucking black nose. And I'm not saying that isn't because she's black. I'm saying because she's painted it black.
Yeah, she does a
Um,
really, really dark shadowing underneath.
when she turns her face down, it makes it look tiny and petite, but looking up, it's just there.
Like me with my different size nostrils.
I mean, with my chins. Um, I didn't understand Selena's choice of rimming at the end of the song because it didn't really fit the end of the song, but
I did like
that's
the if I forgive you all this and I forgive you forgive, you know.
oh yeah, that's camp. I'm gonna steal that. Actually no, I won't because that I don't keep that part in the song. I cut that out of my edit. Um, but if I had that in, I'd steal that. But Selena's marked as safe, and Lux has to keep lip syncing, and she's also pissed. She thought that she was 100% safe, and she's like, okay,
And I am
okay.
loving our queens who let's call them our cocky queens who are getting a reality check and being
Oh
put
yeah.
in their place by the queens who they think are like not a threat, but
hmm
really
And what I
it's
love as
all
well,
about, you know, it's all about song choice and performance and who's
mhm,
going to take the comedy, who's going to take, you know, who's going to be the queen doing the flips, who's going to be walking that fucking duck. You know what I mean?
but all right, so we got four queens left. Mistress's ball is the one next pulled, and she chooses Jax as her competitor, leaving Sasha and Anitra as our final pairing later on. I thought this was interesting of Mistress choosing Jax because, well, I mean, at the end of the day, she didn't have much of a choice. No matter who she
No,
chose was going to be against someone that's a fucking bucker and a wilder. Um, and Jax chooses "Tell It to My Heart" by Taylor Dane as their lip sync song.
good song.
I love this song. I mean, I was dressed as Taylor Dane 2 weeks ago.
I see that.
Do you not? No, we made a comment on it on the podcast.
Yeah, like last week when we were doing in the outtakes, we made a comment about me looking like Rachel from Friends, and then you called me Raquel Welch, and then she dies. So hold on to your seat, Taylor Dane. Like, don't
I
die.
I'd forgotten I called you Raquel Welch until I watched the outtakes. And it
Yeah,
just
and
reminded
she
me of
died
that.
after we did it.
And then I was like, Raquel Welch. And then you put the little RIP thing on her. And I went, oh, that's right. She died.
Yeah. Oops.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out we're not just technically cursed,
We're the,
technologically cursed.
so we're the Simpsons. We're predicting the future. Calm down, Donald Trump. Um, so, yeah, Tell It to My Heart. I thought this was going to be an interesting pairing. I was unsure as to how this was going to go, especially too because, again, oh, sorry. I really wasn't sure if Mistress's outfit was a reveal or if it wasn't a reveal until she
Thank
started dancing.
God it was, because
But she started dancing, and then I saw a little bit of shimmer underneath, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a reveal.
mm-hmm.
Um, the one thing I will notice, Mistress, when she lip syncs, she does very open mouth. She's like, I feel the night explode when we're together. And I'm like, oh, okay, yep, you're an open mouth queen. You need to make sure your mouth is wide to get every single word out so people see your lip syncing. Um, but she starts off very slow for me for this song
Well, she
because
like yeah, she kind of just stood in one spot for a really long time.
yeah, and then but the reveal came at a weird part of the song as well. Like it wasn't a reveal part. Um, her reveal outfit though was 10 times better than what she was wearing.
Well, three
Um,
times better. Wasn't great.
this well, but this like pink and white with the stones and the mesh, I liked it a lot more than that fucking baby doll dress she was wearing.
Ain't
I still
nothing
think Jax's
baby
outfit
about
is
that
better.
doll, honey.
Jax's outfit is still better.
Oh yeah, Jax looks
Um,
great. A little
I
clowny,
still
but
think
good.
this lip sync is probably the only one that could have got another one. Sorry, that could have gone either way.
Mm, I agree. And if I was on the judging panel, Jax would have had this for me. And I get that Mistress was commanding the stage and all of that, but Jax seemed to be giving it a bit more. And this is where I think storytelling comes into it again, because Jax was in the bottom two for the last 2 weeks, and she's
mhm,
clearly a filler queen, and they clearly needed to just move her on,
mhm.
which makes sense. And then I think if, spoiler alert later on, if Anitra did her job the other way and put Jax in a different position, then the producers would have had no choice but to get rid of a different queen. But it all played out the way
Well,
it plays.
we'll get to that in a second
I know, I
once we get
really
to that.
tried not to spoil anything.
Um, so Mistress is deemed safe. Jax is going to continue on lip syncing. Um, Following that, we get obviously Sasha and Anitra as our final pairing. The balls are chosen to choose what the song is going to be, and the song choice ends up being Monster, Fifth
Fifth
Harmony.
Harmony, yeah. Do you think that maybe, just throwing it out there, that
This should have been
Bruno,
a double save, 100%.
no,
Oh,
no, I
not
was
that.
going to say
Okay.
that Bruno's balls have lumps on them, so he knows which one to pick out.
No,
Is there
I
some
think,
ball tampering going on? Because it
no,
just
I
seems
think,
interesting that they're like, oh, nobody wants to go up and against Anitra and
no, so
Sasha, and then they end up going up against each other.
I do think, so this is probably one of the only points where it's completely so one of two things. Either this is completely random, as in like this is the only point that there's no producer driven thing. They can manipulate things however they want based on the choices that present themselves. Or Bruno was told which ball to pick out. So because if you notice, he looks
Mm-hmm.
into the thing as he's picking it out. So he might be told, you need to grab this queen's name. You need to grab this queen's name. You need to grab this queen's name. So he's probably told which queen's name to pull out. If they're rigging it, that would be how they would probably be doing it. But
Allegedly, the police are investigating. Don't forget to buy the merchandise.
I do think that this lip sync should have been a double save.
Oh, they
They
were both amazing.
they were both fucking phenomenal. This just shows that they are both serious performers, like amazing. Um, Watching this, I was just going, I couldn't pick who was going to win. I'm like, this has to be a double save, easily double save. Then we're left with two groups of two, and then for a bottom two, I'm like, easy. This is a double save. We've got an odd number of queens, double save, perfect. I definitely think they both should have stayed. I was shocked um, when one was chosen as the winner, being Sasha. Not because I didn't think Sasha didn't deserve it, but I think they both deserved to stay. Like there was nothing that either of them did that warranted them not being safe, apart from fucking producer's storyline. Like this would have been an amazing double save, and it would have been completely warranted being a double save.
Yes.
But sadly we didn't get that. Sasha wins. Anitra unfortunately has to continue on, and you can tell Anitra is upset. She's like, I, I don't think I should still be, lip syncing. But our next queen to choose is Miss Malaysia, and she goes the easy route and chooses Spice. And Spice chooses the Camila Cabello song, but she has strategy. She chose it because she
It's a
knew,
solid strategy.
yeah, because she chose it because she knew that Malaysia did not know the words. But plot twist, Spice as well did not know the words.
Made for great TV.
Oh, when she turned around, she's like, I did this because I knew Malaysia didn't know the words. And then she goes, but wait, I also don't know the words.
It
I
was
was like,
hilarious too because it was like her plan was coming together until she realized that she too did not know the words.
you dumb bitch. You dumb fucking bitch. Um, but I still think this was a good lip sync. It wasn't a great lip sync. It was a good lip sync. Um, I understand why. Oh, fuck, sorry. Sorry, it's been a long day for both of us.
It
Um,
has.
I understand why Malaysia was the one chosen to stay on and Spice continue on lip syncing, putting Spice essentially up for elimination in the bottom three. No further thoughts from you?
No, I'm just pouring wine.
Mm. So we end up with our next three queens, which end up being Anitra, Lux, and Jax, all lip syncing to The Right Stuff by Vanessa Williams. I, again, was shocked by this lip sync because all three of them turned it out. And this literally could have
Yes.
gone any way. But I was shocked by Lux being announced as the saved one. I 100% thought Anitra or Jax had it.
Yeah. I thought, yeah. When Lux walks back in that room, I was like, how is that not Anitra?
Yeah, same. I was like, this is very interesting to me that they chose Lux as the safe one. Um, I mean, they all did well, but I 100% think Anitra should never have been even that close to the bottom,
No,
ever.
no.
Um, but yeah, they all turn it out, but Lux is announced as safe, going back to the workroom, leaving Anitra, Jax, and Spice as our bottom three. RuPaul
Enter
then
twist here. Sorry,
RuPaul then no, you're right.
I'm excited.
RuPaul then announces a twist, being like, it's not going to be a triple lip sync for the bottom. A ball is going to be drawn, and whoever's name is drawn is going to pick one of her other two competitors to be safe. So this was the only way that Spice was going to be safe from the bottom. And this is why I think it was 100% always planned for Anitra to send Jax home. Um, because they needed someone that was a strong lip syncer as well. So storyline wise, it was either going to be Sasha or Anitra sent to the bottom to get rid of Jax, because Jax has already proven twice that she's a lip sync performer. She can turn it out. They needed someone strong against her to get rid of her. The only way they could do it was with this type of challenge, because there's no way that Sasha or Anitra would have ended in the bottom otherwise. And they couldn't put Sasha in the bottom because putting Sasha in the bottom would have caused an absolute riot. So they needed to put Anitra in the bottom. So I think this was always planned. So Anitra's name is chosen, and she chooses Spice to save because, as she says, not going to take the easy route and save Jax. And
Which I think
essentially,
was a good move on her part. Like that, I think has gained her some online praise.
oh, absolutely. Because I would do the same thing. I'd be like, I could take the easy route and, just get rid of the weakest lip syncer by making sure that, I have to do fuck all to beat her. But I'd be like, no, you know what? I want to go against the best. So that
That's it. If you're going to do this, you're going to want a challenge. You didn't come here for an easy ride, right?
was my
Not
nickname
like,
in high school.
not like Lucy.
Well, I was just going to say that. That was my nickname in high school. Easy
Easy
Rider.
ride. Easy ride or easy rider?
Both.
Did you do all the straight boys?
No, I was a virgin until I was 18.
Really?
Yeah, she was a late bloomer. So
Sick.
yeah, Anitra saves Spice and goes up against Jax, and their lip sync song is
Finally, it's happening to
that's right.
me.
Finally by CC Penis Station. Um,
Yes. Microphone when she was 18.
Penis Station?
Yeah, I mean, the place where the penises stop.
Ah, and the sperm gets off. Um, is that not what a station is? Um, I thought this was a good lip sync again. This was a very fun final lip sync. Um, Anitra definitely turned it out.
Yeah. She walked that
Uh,
fucking duck. And I think it was a good way for Jax to leave on a high.
yeah, because she was beaten by someone that was legitimately
Could you imagine if she
better.
was beaten by Spice?
she would be pissed, and I wouldn't blame her. I would be pissed as well, being like, fucking serious? You what?
A
Um,
fucking Monster High Bratz doll. What?
although the sad thing is Jax didn't get to say sort of like a goodbye to the other queens. Like normally the others are all on stage and they get to be like,
True.
bye, bye, sort of thing. But there was no one there.
Well, she
She
did
was,
shoo Anitra off when Anitra was walking a duck back and forth, not
but
leaving.
she kind of like, yeah, she was left all alone on stage and just had to leave on her own. Um,
It was a fatality.
so yeah, we just get Lux is gone, Lux is gone, Jax is gone, sorry. Um, there was no winner of this week essentially. So no one can say that they were amazing. I mean, apart from
Lucy, who thinks she was the queen of the world.
no, so you've got Marsha, Selena, and Mistress. Yeah, Marsha, Selena, and Mistress, who were the three. No, Marsha, Selena, and Lucy. Yeah, Marsha, Selena, and Lucy, and Mistress, who were
Who
there for.
won their first
Oh,
rounds.
And Sasha, who won their first rounds. They're the only ones that can really say that they won this week, I guess. Um, but next week we get a ball. We've got a ball challenge, which I'm excited for. Um, only reason I'm excited for is because I love the delusion that a lot of queens have with some of their outfits when it comes to a ball challenge. So I'm interested to see how well they do. And we've got quite a few designers this season. So it'll be interesting to see, yeah, how well they do.
Yes, I do like a ball, and it marks the 200th episode. So it's fitting to do something like a ball.
La, 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 la.
It's been a while.
Throwback. Throwback to that was an excuse me throwback.
It was, which is, I think, reappeared in Down Under season one, to well, season two, but our season one.
Probably. Probably.
Yum.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, we did lots of throwbacks to things that we didn't realize were throwbacks now.
I mean, we have literally now we have like a brand and we have these throwbacks and we have merchandise that says allegedly the police are investigating and our faces on t-shirts if anyone wants them.
Okay, so that was this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15. It was our lip sync Lalaparuza. Thank you all for joining us on the wind up. Once again, don't forget you can follow us on Instagram at the windup_pod for all of our shenanigans, including our outtakes, our other backstage little bits and pieces that pop up, including me apparently being an onion. You can follow him at Sean Phillip Official. You can follow me at Microphone. Otherwise, thank you all for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Chink.